back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. I'm finally back. I was in New York attending the watch show, visiting some friends and family, and generally just taking, well, it's not really time off because I spent all my time around watches, but just hanging out. But today I'm back and I wanted to talk about something that, has been discussed more than once on the internet, that's for sure. And I wanted to give my take on it. I want to talk about the 5 best entry-level divers for watch collectors. The only criteria I have is they have to be automatic, but they can be Japanese, they can be Swiss, they can be Chinese, and they have to be under $1,000. But of course, before we get started, I want to let you guys know I picked up a ton of very cool watches. A vintage Tudor Submariner, 2 of them actually, a Rolex Milgauss, a Panerai Radiomir 3-day, a Bond Seamaster, a Speedmaster with box and papers, and one without for the more budget conscious. A ton of great watches. All that and a lot more over at the new redesigned delraywatch.com. Link in the description below. Don't forget to check it out, guys. And remember, we also buy and service watches. But anyway, dive watches. Probably the most popular category of watch. Great watches for every day. Usually on a steel bracelet, rotating bezel, 100 meters water resistance or better. It's just a very versatile watch, kind of made iconic by the Rolex Submariner. Of course, I almost forgot the wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing a Speedmaster, my vintage Speedy on the leather strap, which is not a dive watch. It's a chronograph, even though those two are not mutually exclusive, of course. I'll make a chronograph video later. However, you don't always have to spend thousands of dollars to get a decent dive watch. Right here I've got my Seiko SKX, a watch under $250 that I wear all the time, and it's a dive watch. However, spoiler alert, it didn't make this list because as much as I love it, objectively, it really isn't all that great. I mean, it is for the price, it's fine, but there are better watches out there. But remember, it doesn't mean you like them more, even if statistically they are better. And of course, all of this is based entirely on my opinion. So if your watch or the watch you love didn't make this list, no reason to get butthurt. So there can only be 5, and these are my picks. So let's get started. These are no particular order. The first one I'm going to start with is the Seiko Turtle. How could an entry-level dive watch list be complete without a Seiko? Well, the Seiko Turtle is the reissue, and many were speculating was going to be the replacement of the SKX line, which obviously didn't come true. It's a reissue watch from, I believe, I'm not a Seiko, great with Seiko history, but late 60s, early 70s, and it's just fantastic. It's got that big cushion case. It comes on a bracelet or a strap. It has the upgraded movement. I'm never good with movement numbers, but it has hacking and manual winding, which is fantastic. Not to mention Seiko movements run forever, which is great. And you get a ton of color options. You get the Seiko Turtle Paddy in blue. You get it in two-tone, in gold plating, just black on black. All that, and most of them are under $300. This is a great watch to have in your rotation. And you know what? If I did not already have an SKX, I would have a Turtle. Now, most of them can be bought on Amazon. Just a heads up, guys, I do have Amazon affiliate links in the description. So if you do click on them, I get a couple bucks to support the channel. But I want to let you guys know as well. Seiko Turtle, fantastic watch for the money. Now, second is probably the best bang for buck Swiss dive watch out there. You guys know what I was going to say, the Oris Aquis. At under $1,000 pre-owned, this comes in titanium, stainless steel, or on rubber. It comes with a ceramic bezel, and you can also get it in complications. Not to mention a variety of sizes going everywhere from 40 to 45 millimeters. Most of these house a Sellita SW200, which is a clone of the ETA 2824. I believe some earlier ones actually do have 2824s in them. and you get an Oris, an entry-level Swiss watch, but a company that has tons of history and tons of heritage that makes a fantastic watch. Now, a lot of people don't love the strange lugs because you don't have many strap options, but their bracelets and straps are really solid anyway. You get some great finishing, a very tough watch, extremely accurate, with that workhorse ETA clone or actual ETA, depends which one you get, for under $1,000. You know what? I think an Aquis would be at home in any collection, be it a millionaire who collects FP Journe, or if it was your first kind of foray into Swiss watches. It's not the most refined watch out there, but it does its job well, it looks good, and it feels good, and while not breaking the bank. That's very important. Oris Aquis, much love. Third is a watch that I have probably the least amount of experience with out of all the watches on this list. I've only held one maybe 3 or 4 times, but I always liked it, and I thought for the price they were excellent. We're talking about the Orient Array 2. Orient, obviously a Japanese manufacturer with in-house movements, under $400 for most of them. You can get a lot of Orient Arrays for even less than that, but I'm talking about the Array 2, which is a Submariner style watch, 200 meters water resistant on a bracelet, automatic of course, multiple different colors. You get the unique factor of an in-house movement, just as tough as an SKX, but the movement is a little bit more refined, and Orient really runs the gamut in terms of watches. You can get anything from the cheap rays for about $100 to the saturation diver for about $1,000, which unfortunately doesn't sell very well because it's a $1,000 Orient, but I can tell you I have played with that watch, and it is absolutely fantastic. If you're looking for a Submariner style watch that doesn't break the bank, but is still unique, you still have options, the Orient Array 2 should definitely be on your list. And I think at 42 millimeters? It's really a good size as well. Next, we have another Swiss watch, the Alpena Sea Strong. Now, the key with any Alpena is to never buy them new. They depreciate like crazy, and the Sea Strong could be had for under $900. Once again, options with bracelet or rubber. This Alpena, which is the sister brand of Frederic Constant, is just a very tough watch. Now, Frederic Constant is a great watchmaker. They make in-house movements. This one houses a Salida, but it's good to know that these watches are made by a brand that is capable of certain feats. This is a 44 millimeter watch, 300 meters water resistant, rotating bezel. It's got a more modern look. The dial is wide open. It's a little bit more minimalist. The hands are a little bit more modern. Even though it does come in a few finishes, you get a Swiss watch for under $900, and it's a little bit more unique than the Oris, which, if you guys are big watch guys, you've probably heard about Oris all over the place. Alpena, a little bit more unique. Not to mention 44 millimeters if you want that big look, or if you want something highly visible because you're actually going to dive with a mechanical watch. This would be a pretty cool choice. Unique, under $1,000, Swiss made, and made by a brand that can make in-house movements. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? And now, to round off the list, we have another Seiko. Probably the Seiko with the biggest fan base. These are the Seiko Monsters. In fact, these are so sold out everywhere and so kind of hard to get. Prices have shot up. I mean, some people are asking close to $1,000. However, after scouring eBay, I was looking here, you can find them for under $500. Now, the Seiko Monster, kind of classic with that orange dial, even though it does come in many flavors, has that fantastic case construction where the bezel is kind of embedded into the case, which makes it very tough. It's hard to describe, but it is built for ruggedness. It also has the hacking and hand-winding movement, which people love, and that solid link bracelet is fantastic, all in brushed. Now, I like the orange, but there's also the Seiko with the black and red dial, with the white dial. The Monsters come in a few different flavors. I also like the Patty and the Tuna, the Patty Tuna rather, which has the same style case as the Monster, but the Monster is the icon. A lot of people swear by it. A lot of divers say it's the toughest watch ever made that's mechanical. I can't really speak to that because I'm not a diver, and I've never actually owned, even though I've played with multiple Monsters, I can definitely tell why people like it. It's a very charming watch. It's also very polarizing with its styling, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. You guys know I really do like uniqueness when it comes to watches. Well, guys, those are my top 5 entry-level divers. We don't always have to talk about luxury watches on this channel, even though that is my forte. You know, that's where my strength is. I've spent my career selling luxury watches. But every now and then, I do want to give some love to the newer collectors, the collectors that may not have the budget, but still want a good watch. Remember, you don't need to spend thousands of dollars for a great watch, and I think I just proved that. Anyway, guys, please give a thumbs up to this video if you enjoyed it. It really does help. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications. That's that little bell next to the subscribe button so you don't miss any content. And of course, I will see you in the next one. Take care.